Locomotive Mayhem Mix-Up. All the trains in North America are really nice and friendly. Amtrak does a good job with passengers going from city to city year-round. People see their friends and family, or they go to work on trains. One day, Alessia was delivering the mail because Percy was busy with the other jobs. Alessia arrived at St. Nicholas Station. Sir Topham Hatt was there. He had an important job for her. I would like you to go to the shunting yard and collect a freight train today. Yes, sir, said Alessia. It's a really long one, so you must be really careful, said Sir Topham Hatt. I will, sir, said Alessia, and she puffed away. I can be really useful with my train. On the way to the shunting yard, there was an engine that was evil. Her name was Slice Chop. She was big and strong, and she weighed lots of tons. It feels good to be evil, she said. Ah, 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 ah. Then she steamed into the yard, very cross. She came to a halt. Alessia was surprised. Steam locomotives are going to be over soon, she roared. They are not, said Alessia. Men trains are going to be scrapped, and I'm gonna scrap you all. Laughed of Slice Chop. She's a big brat, puffed Hadley. Good brat for me, good brat for me, Slice Chop said. She was very cross. A few minutes later, a workman came into the yard. He had some important news. This is a really long train, Alessia, he said, so you must go nice and slowly. Yes, sir, she said. And she backed up to the freight cars of special items. And she puffed out of the yard. This is a really long train. I must go very slowly. The pipes and all the other materials were behind. Alessia puffed along really nicely. Women locomotives are nice and friendly, just like the men locomotives. Although they have lots of personalities, the women trains can do the same thing. Over in the shunting yard, Slice Chop was threatening the engines to scrap them. If Sir Topham Hatt sees how good you are, he'll scrap you all, she said. What? Wheeshed James? I can't believe that will happen to us. You're not gonna scrap us. Diesel trains are more efficient, Archer said. I don't think I'm efficient. but I am, Archer said crossly. All the engines were startled. Let's collect James's coaches, said P.T. Boomer. Here comes the red coach's puffball, said Diesel 10. Good riddance, James, laughed Diesel 10. I'm taking your coaches away. Goodbye. Put those coaches back. Those are mine, roared James. Let's go, said Slice Chop. These red coach cars must go, she said, and they puffed forward. Go ahead, Twinkle Toes, Diesel 10 said, 'cause Pinchy would love this. And then they let go of the coaches. Goodbye, coaches, Diesel 10 said. And they rolled down the track at 30 miles an hour. Whee! Laughed the passengers and the crew members. And the train went right off the track and right into someone's house. Those are silly coaches, roared Diesel 10. How dare I do that? How dare you take my coaches, said James. You're letting me down. He won't take your coaches again, Archer said. Now I'm going to take Henry's boxcars, said Slice Chop. And he did. Those are not your hopper cars to haul. Put them back right now, Henry said crossly. I can't help it, but I can laugh, Slice Chop said, and she let go of the hopper cars and they rolled down the track. Whee! They laughed. Then the crossing gates came down, and the hopper cars sped over. Then the hopper cars saw Judy ahead. She was on her way to collect her passenger train. I need to get to the station on time. It was too late. I'm okay, Judy said. Just a little accident. She was stuck. I'm ruined, she said, because my buffers are hurt. Burlington was cross. Diesel 10 took my freight cars, wished Henry, and he made. I did, said Slice Chop. A few minutes later, Slice Chop buffered up to the coaches. What in the world? Wailed Archer. A few minutes later, Slice Chop shunted the Amfleet and Viewliner coaches into one line. Those are not your coaches to touch, said James. They're not, said Burlington. I don't think so. And all the engines puffed crossly to work. Alessia was pulling her freight train very nicely along. She was soft and gentle with her freight cars. And all the items on board were stacked in nice parallel lines. As the rail cars rolled nicely along, and they were filled with nice stuff. "I have to get to the top of the hill," Alessia said, "'cause Loisia needs these cars soon." Then the hill was steep. "I must get to the top," said Alessia. "The cars behind are heavy." Then there was trouble. The freight cars began to push her down the hill. Then she saw 2 trains ahead and her driver applied the brakes. But it was too late. She smashed into the side of the train and went right off the line and plowed through the Amfleet coach and derailed it. Slice Chop applied her brakes, but it was also too late for her to stop. James watched the crash in horror. When the dust cleared, Edward could not believe his eyes. There was I'm all damaged and crumpled, said Alessia. Sir Topham Hatt was very cross. "I am not happy, Slice Chop," he said. "You have caused confusion and delay, and you owe these engines an apology!" "I'm sorry, everyone. I will put you in timeout in a jail shed." "Yes, sir," said Slice Chop. And Sir Topham Hatt let it go. "I'm not sorry," Dieselton said. "Pinchy's all damaged." "And I'm sorry I'm derailed," said Alessia, "'cause I'm covered in all the items from my load." "And my buffers are broken," said Henry. "My red coat is all ruined," moaned James. "Cheer up, Alessia," said Sir Topham Hatt. "I'm not cross with you. I was just cross at Slice Chop." "Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir." That evening at Tidmouth Sheds, the crashes were all cleaned up and the house was rebuilt and the coaches were re-railed. "I'm sorry I made you get into trouble," said Edward. "It was a mistake." "Thanks for owning up to it," said Henry. I think Slice Chop has been scrapped," said Edward. "He has," said Alessia. Everyone felt proud.